Welcome aboard for another video.
Thanks, Conductor Keith.
The topic of today's video is a retrospective on scenery. Some time ago, I posted a video about making scenery. This is an update because I've used real cement for scenery, which I think is superior to using plaster. And there are a few other tips and tricks in this video. I use a water purification filter, dried out and cut open. You'd be amazed the stuff that's inside that you can use for scenery. Everything in this video is something anybody can do it. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. As I built this railway, I took videos and pictures as I went. And now it's time to go back, put some of them together, and show you how I got to this stage. Keep in mind that the exact kind of scenery I do here is exactly what I do, same material, same ballast and everything, with my large scale G-scale railway upstairs in the garage. And the techniques I use here you can do in any scale, except maybe the ballast needs to be smaller and more fine. Anyway, without further ado, I hope you enjoy this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer. I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away.
Okay, enough of that silliness. Now, when I have adults or neighborhood kids come over to look at the railway, those people who are not trained people, well, they will make as many comments or more about the scenery and the things they see around the railway than the trains themselves. So I really do think it's beneficial to do some scenery. It's also good to go to train shows to get ideas. This is what I call a delightful sight. So for my British friends, here we have this lovely O scale, and it's Balmoral Road. It's the British Model Railroad Club of Montreal. Here we have some N scale action. Now, tables and setups like this to showcase O-gauge toy trains are nice. They're convenient to bring to train shows, but I really do like even to have my O-gauge trains, my toy trains, with scenery. So this is Mike staring at, we're trying to figure out if this is a one-to-one model of a Zamboni. Observing the details in any sort of modeling is beneficial, no matter what. These are spectacular. Boiler room down there. Like... Just look at the pan ice on this river. You look at scenery like that, and then the plywood central looks a little bare. So I started with one corner on this layout, and at least the rooster likes it. In previous videos on my large-scale G-scale railway and this one, I show how I use real concrete cement for road crossings and other details, but I decided to take it a step further. So, Terry, what are you doing here? What I'm actually doing is using old mega blocks to build a form for an old foundation for a ruined building. So this is my mixed up concrete cement. I've put it in the foundation. Some water is now seeping down around the edges, which is okay because I'll just dab it up with this. So I finished pouring in the foundation, and then I did a road crossing right here. Okay, that goes out to the rest of the layout here. And then, with what's left over, I did what I did earlier and made blobs that I teased up into rocks. When this dries, I'll knock these out. Here is the previous road crossing, and here's what those blobs of concrete, which are now hard concrete, well, cement, you know, the powder stuff, what it looks like. And as you can see, that's the one over there. If you don't have a wire styrofoam cutter, get one. At this point, I decided to make some landforms. Super easy, just glue them down with white glue. Now the thing is, These are from styrofoam sheets from furniture packing. You know, from inside the box that furniture you put together yourself comes in. As I worked, I looked at various angles to see that I liked what it looked like. Also, I took my largest piece of rolling stock I'd ever run on this and ran it around to make sure it had clearance. So as you can see, I'm spackling cement right on. It's not hard work. I just literally spackle it on, almost like decorating a cake. And then you just shape around as you go. Easy cheesy. Yesterday's foundation and blob and rock blob. Today's rock blob. Yesterday's road crossing. More today's rock blobs. And John Gnome seems very excited that there's going to be some new excellent train watching locations. Well, naturally you have to run a train through it to make sure it's okay. I mean, any excuse to run a train, right? Here you can see the super elevation I've added to the curves to good effect. So I decided to add another siding with a couple pieces of track here. Nothing major, but I did have to cut into the concrete. That's okay, the broken pieces I'll pile here, and they'll just become part of the scenery. Then it was on to using coffee stick stirrers to complete the road crossings. Now, my friend Tom in the United States sent me some pictures of a model ship he's building, and the wood is so well aged. So I said, Tom, can you send me a little video on how to do that? Now, instead of just repeating what Tom did here, why don't we just let Tom take it away?
Oh, Terry. India ink, some water, and some rubbing alcohol. That works really good for making wood look old. Very cheap way to make wood look old. Take a pencil and you make 3 dots or 2 dots. They look like nails. I'm going to draw a line like it's 2 boards. You have the dots for where the boards come together and the nails. And when it's dry, it looks a lot better. That's how I do the decks on the boats.
This is my mixture as per Tom's instructions. There's my efforts at making a dirty looking bunch of sticks, and I'm going to glue them in here like this. Thanks, Tom, for the advice. This is what it looks like untreated. Now, that looks pretty good. This is the fine grind, ground granite grit used here to put on sidewalks so you don't slip in the winter. So I'm going to just proceed along with some ballast. There's going to be a misting of glue put over these as well. This is the stuff I use for my large G scale, but of course, it looks a bit large in O, but these are toy trains after all, so I'll let that go. In the past, I've used sandblasting granite for HO scale, and here on this 00 scale, it's a little small in HO and 00 for mainline, but it's okay on sidings. It looked really good on my old N scale layout, as you see here. I'm just weathering some wood with Tom's India ink method, where, I just go here and I dab this on. And when it dries, it's going to look good. But I also take these old pastel chalks of different colors that I use for weathering, and using the knife, I just kind of scrape it over. Now I'm going to work it with the India ink. I'm just experimenting, see what would happen. Bamboo skewers, which I use as picks for uncoupling in larger scales. And as you can see, one of these skewers is all the thick parts that are here. That's where my stressed sticks will be. I think it might have been Mike. Somebody suggested to put a tree in the middle of it, so that it looks like this is quite old. I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. Of course, at that moment, it was time to run more, test it. After a bunch of ballasting, I discovered some fine granite dust in the bottom of the bin. Sweep up the dusty stuff. Right there. Just some spilled dust from a crushed stone loader. So as I continue my efforts towards scenery here on my 027 layout, I decided to look at this. Now here in Castleman, our water tastes like licking the arse of a donkey, honestly. So there's a water filter. It took a long time for it to dry out. This is a used filter. See all the mineral and stuff it's captured. So I'm going to open it up and see if there's anything in this that could be of value for doing scenery. So the top layer of this stone came out easy. That's some nice stone there I can use somehow. The next layer is very hard, but you can dig in it and break it up. I presume this is hard because of the mineral and whatnot it's had to filter out. So we'll see what I can do with that. That's some fairly decent material. So see how that comes out now. Very hard. I don't know what that is. It's very fine. It's the charcoal layer. There's, of course, some stuff in it. There's mineral in it, as you can see that stuff. Now this leaves us the last bit, which looks like a heavier sort of stone. When we do this, what are we left with now? There you go, see? Sand. It's a different color sand than the playground sand I'm using on the layout, so I could probably make a decorative pathway with it or something. This stuff would be good for a chip trail. Actually, this stuff also makes perfectly good spilled grain. That filter top layer white stuff made a nice kitsch decoration. You know, you've seen it in the past, especially these places where they put white stones around. It's very kitschy. Well, I've done it too. Also, this is a different color sand from the filter. This is the playground sand. And here is a chip trail. There's Dave. Over here is just a little old pile of coal. I've walked on trails beside rail lines and have seen old piles of coal. In terms of the rest of the scenery, all the ground stuff and whatnot, I'm not going to get into that because I have a video on that topic that I'll leave in the end screen of this video. So you can link to it and see it. It's so dead simple how I do this stuff. So dead simple, anyone can do it. I'm really pleased with how this ruin turned out. It was my friend Mike who suggested putting the tree there. And, you know, all of the scenery here is just so simple. I hope that this video inspires you to try some scenery. Everything I've done here is dead simple. So give it a whirl. You don't have to have O-gauge trains like me or large scale trains like I have upstairs, the G scale. A lot of this you can use for any scale, and it's a good bit of fun and keeps me out of the pub. If you like this video, subscribe, share it, like it, and thanks for dropping by.